So I guess we can go ahead and take a look down here in these rooms that we didn't check out last time. Sure, why not? Hey, how's it going? Ah, I see. So you're the son of Khan. Have you met Queen Zephyr yet? She still can't forget about the tragedy in Nissan during the Great War 500 years ago, even though it's not her fault. I assume she can't forgive herself for betraying and abandoning her fellow members, though she had no knowledge of what was going on. Oh, I may have said too much. I'm not supposed to know anything. Anyhow, keep up the good work in overthrowing Solaris, young man. Okay. Whatever. Alright. Nothing more going on in there. Let's see, what's going on in here? Random people. Balthazar brought Maria to Shivat about 5 years ago, along with that Sebzine. Balthazar said he sneaked into Solaris by himself and tried to save Dr. Nicola and Maria. He laughed as he told me that he managed to escape with Maria and take that Sebzine as a souvenir. Maria's father, Dr. Nikolai, was captured by Solaris, and nothing has been heard from him since. In any case, I'm sure he's being forced to do research on gears. If they develop Sebzine further into a new gear weapon and start mass-producing them, well, to say the least, it would be more than we could ever handle. Well, that sure don't sound good, does it? Let's see. Let's check out what's going on in here. What's with the three twins here? Long ago, humans were with God in a paradise in the sky called Mahanan. The place was protected by the power of God. Humans were never exposed to the fear of danger or death. However, one day, humans entered God's forbidden garden and ate a fruit which bestowed upon them tremendous intelligence and power. God found out about the incident, and the humans were banished from the paradise. The prosperous times were over, and an era of sorrow and hatred began. Sound familiar? That was the first part of the legend of Genesis that was passed on from long ago. I say a legend such as this contains some truth to it. Okay. It is not known how much of the Genesis legend is true. However, the Anima relics, made through God's wisdom, do exist. Solaris' Gazelle ministry is desperate to find the Anima relic, and Mahanan, a place known to be God's resting place. If Solaris attains that power, no one will be able to stop them. What will happen to the world then? Probably not good things. Humans banished from the paradise were foolish enough to revolt against God. In order to resist the power of God, they created 12 Anima relics and called themselves gods. For 10 days, 10 nights, the world shed its blood. Mahanan was enveloped in flames. But human strength was no match for God, and the arrogant humans were destroyed by God's anger. Only a few righteous men were left on the land. However, God was also tired and wounded. He decided to rest in the deepest depths of the earth. God's rest was long, but eternity is only a moment to God. Since then, the righteous men who didn't revolt against God had to live in the harsh nature by themselves, being in constant fear of death. The legend also says the following: when the righteous men's children are born again, God will awaken from his long rest and give a helping hand to them. If the legend is true, what will the awakening God bring to the people? Son of a bitch. What kind of existence is God? Double son of a bitch. Okay. Alright, so... anything in the bookshelf? No? Okay. Alright, that's fine. Whatever. Dude, let's go down here. See what's going on in here. Soldiers. You just arrived from the service, didn't you? I've heard about you. They say you saved our colleague captured by the Ethos. Thank you very much for that. I wish they'd give me a mission. I'd teach those Solarians a lesson. Yeah, okay. That's great. I'm sure you would. Oh, and you are... I feel like I've met you before. You resemble Khan, the one who taught us the art of fighting. Nobody knows his whereabouts after he went down to the service on the Queen's mission. I doubt something bad happened to him considering his skills, but I wonder where he is. I think that's something everybody wants to know. Just where is he? Well, what's in here? Okay, looks like a dining hall or something. We're still running around in the sky because of the war that broke out 500 years ago. It doesn't make any sense. Why do we have to suffer for what our ancestors did? What do you think? I can't even get fresh ingredients for meals. I've had it. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. You, eh? What the hell is she doing here? Oh, welcome. You look good, Faye. The meal will be ready soon. Please join us and eat to your heart's content. You, eh? Well, why are you here? Oh, didn't I tell you before? I was born here. After you left the village, I decided to return to Shivat along with the survivors of the village, because the soldiers from Ava and Kislev were showing up around there. I see. I'm sorry for putting so much trouble on you. What are you saying? It's not your fault. There's nothing to worry about. The people from the village understood after they came here and heard the story. They couldn't blame only you for that incident because Solaris was behind it. Yes, but... Have you met the Queen? If you haven't, go say hello to her as soon as possible. Yeah, I'll get on that. Okay, then I'll see you later. Hey, there's Choo-Choo's over here. Midori! Choo-Choo, my friend!
Midori really talks a lot. It's amazing how much stuff you have to talk about. We can have a conversation without talking. Have you forgotten already?
Okay. Alright. Moving right along. So hungry. Is the meal ready yet? Whatever you do, it all goes back to food. You got that? Food. For me, I get the feeling I'm most alive when I'm eating. Isn't it the same with you guys? You eat to live, or live to eat. We don't even know, do we? I bet the Solarians are always eating all the food stuff. That's unforgivable. Okay. Whatever.
You humans are truly unusual living beings, aren't you? You're all like shattered fragments of a mirror.
Okay. That great war 500 years ago, I can remember it like it was yesterday. That's something I can't get myself to forget. Many lives were lost, much love, many dreams, friends, those irreplaceable important things in our lives were scarred and left to bleed. Are those days going to return once again? I don't want my children or grandchildren to go through that nightmare. Yeah, I hear you there. What the hell is this? Okay, this is weird. We've been flying up in the sky, right? It isn't easy getting supplies. We can't just go and get all our own supplies either. We made it this far somehow, but if the situation continues like this, we better do something. Yeah, that's true. This month is going to be very tight, too. We must cut down on rations a little to make it. But everyone will probably gripe about that. What am I going to do? I don't know. That's a good question. This room is very weird. I don't know. What's going on in here? Further down is the prison. It hasn't been used for several hundred years, though. It isn't anything worth seeing. Well, I guess you could say we had a similar barbaric phase like the land dwellers. So this is the prison? Everything's quiet down in the prison. They got like bird cages, it looks like. This is where we keep the criminals in their cells. It's been said that soldiers from Solaris were locked up in here long ago. I've heard we've even done many atrocious things at that time. War is like that. It abolishes good and bad. One betrays friends, neighbors, even his own flesh and blood. War turns even good, kind humans into crazed monsters. Yeah, that's pretty much true. This is a carbonite cage that petrifies humans alive. Really? Wow. Regardless of whether it was only used on criminals, it is still heinous. No matter how you look at it, they've sure thought of cruel things. By the way, you land dwellers know about the Nissan tragedy during the Great War? Did you hear anything from the higher-ups? No. I doubt they told you. Those old men politely avoid talking about it. Do they think the truth will disappear if they turn away from the past? Bunch of fools. Be careful, land dweller. You'll have a terrible time if you open up your heart to those old men. Just like they did in Nissan 500 years ago. Okay. It's interesting. We're going deeper down. I don't know where we're going. Whoa. It's like a big cell. That day 500 years ago, that woman was definitely here. There are no other alternative but to be a captive. We could have won at the cost of many sacrifices, only if that traitor hadn't disappeared with the woman. The escaped woman freed the beast. The beast sucked human blood and ate their flesh, and tore the world apart. Since then, people have found themselves groping in the dark. They've been atoning for a crime for 500 years. I want you to be careful, young ones. Don't follow the same path as the traitor, drowning in hatred and love. Okay, that's great. Okay. So that's the prison for you. It seems all cruel and everything, yeah? There's another door here. What is this? This is a machine created to put brutal criminals and dangerous monsters to sleep. Oh. It isn't expected to be used again, but it is ready any time just in case. Anyone who has no business here should leave. Get out, right now. I really don't have any business here. I don't want nothing to do with any of that, so... Whatever. Let's get out of here, shall we? Okay. Let's head back. Okay, so let's head up here. What's going on over here? Balthazar has strongly told Maria not to leave Shivat under any circumstances. He probably said that because he knows that if provided with the chance, that child would immediately try to fly off to Solaris, all by herself to rescue her captured father, riding on the Sebzen. Okay. Maria has truly done so much for us. As of now, many of us consider her to be the guardian angel of Shivat. Regardless of how well she can control Sebzen, she's only a 13 years old girl. She's probably worried sick about her father, who's been captured by Solaris. Okay. What's going on in here? The scientists of Solaris had bitter experiences in the revolt by the lambs 500 years ago, so they decided to do some work on the lambs. They inserted various limiters so that they would never be able to revolt. For the past 500 years, Solaris controlled the lambs' consciousness, behavior, and all. Naturally, lambs don't know anything about it. That makes it even more unforgivable, although it's highly efficient. Okay. This land is a testing ground for Solaris. Their objectives are generic engineering, crossbreeding, and mind control. They want to collect data for the newly created organisms and general combat data. Lambs are mere livestock to be raised for Solaris' purposes. The ethos was established mainly to control the lambs. I see. That's how it was. The ethos supervised the land dwellers like domestic animals. Then They're not doing this for fun either. It's an important simulation. Creating appropriate organisms that can align themselves with the Anima relics is one of their important objectives. In any case, the lambs will continue to be Solaris' guinea pigs unless someone stops them. The limiter restrains the lamb's abilities, but there may be a way to remove it. Melchior. Really? Does that name sound familiar? He used to be one of the 3 sages of Shivat. He must know a way to remove the limiter. Yeah, okay. The whereabouts of the 3 sages, Melchior, Balthazar, and Gas... Seriously? Damn you, Squaresoft! Have not been known since the Great War. There's even a rumor that they lost faith in humans because of the tragedy in Nissan. Solaris' activities have been increased once again. I wonder where they are and what they're up to. Okay. A man named Krellian was the mastermind behind the planning of the limiter and the lambs. He was originally a lamb. He learned molecular engineering from the sage Melchior, personally, but he misused it for such a terrible act. An unbelievable monster. Okay. Well, anyway, I think that's all we're gonna look at. Never mind, we got more rooms to look at. Okay, I guess we'll just do that then, fine. This is the tactical command room. Currently we are keeping track of the activities of both Solaris and the land of collecting data. Lately there have been a lot of unusual activity down on the surface. You think Solaris found something? I'm sure they did. What What is this? That which the Gazelle Ministry of Solaris desperately seeks is the 12 Anima Relics created by God's wisdom. The merging of an Anima Relic and a gear can produce an Omnigear, but the subjects must be in suitable synchronization or else the transformation will not occur. Some of the Anima Relics have been discovered, but there are still more left undiscovered, sleeping deep in the earth. Even we have been devoted much to the search, but to no avail. Okay. The power of the Omnigears was so great that they could even hold back Diabos collapse 500 years ago. If any more of these falls into the hands of the enemy, our future and even those of the land dwellers will be... I implore you, land dwellers, we require your assistance. Shivat must collect the remaining Anima Relics by any means necessary. Interesting. This is the library where many books are gathered. This place is packed with many ancient books that you cannot find on the surface. If you're a book fanatic, you'll drool over books like our first run prints, limited books, autograph books, banned books, and mountains of hard-to-find books, and more mountains and mountains of books. It's too much! Well, setting that aside, if there's something you want to know from the past, it'd be good to go and talk to the librarians. Don't worry, it's their job anyway to tell the new people from the surface about the past. Okay.
Long ago, I've heard that a long chu-chu was taken from the town by Wise Man. I haven't heard what happened after that. Hope that chu-chu's doing well.
I'm guessing that's the chu-chu we all know and love. Okay. You're probably already aware of this, but this Shivat is protected by a special gate made possible by an ancient technology. Even Solaris cannot break this barrier. Because of that, we were able to avoid being invaded to this day. But even with that, we don't have the power to attack Solaris either. It's a stalemate. Basically, we've been glaring at each other. Seems that way. After the war, Solaris used a gate like ours to separate itself from the surface. And then they erased all memory of their existence from the surface dwellers. Due to this, the surface dwellers are still not aware where we've been secretly dominated by Solaris all along. To be born into a false reality, to grow up in it, and to die in it, without ever approaching the truth. That is the life of a surface dweller. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Surviving through the Great War 500 years ago and the Diabos collapse, we and the rest of our comrades secluded ourselves on Shivat. At the time, Shivat was being constructed at the tip of Babel Tower, but we were able to escape to the sky before Solaris once again ascended to power over the land. Since then, we've been wandering the skies while overlooking the activities of the land below. Aha, you don't say. At one point, Solaris and its Gazelle Ministry, made up of 12 elders, dominated the world with more military might than they have presently. The people of the land were treated like slaves. If any of them resisted, they were quickly and mercilessly dealt with. They treated the people as if they weren't living beings. Eventually, people on the surface began to rebel from all parts and ultimately led to the Solaris Shivat War 500 years ago. The Great War that unfolded between Solaris and Shivat 500 years ago. It was a heroic battle, with the freedom and independence of the land dwellers at stake. The rebel army, which centered around Shivat, was successful at attacking the inner citadel of Solaris, but only with tremendous sacrifices. However, before we almost made it, the unthinkable happened. A new enemy appeared that even Solaris had not anticipated. That was when the nightmares began. The nightmare never before seen. A nightmare that we pray we would never have to see again. That sounds pretty bad, dude. Diabos. The sudden appearance of the mysterious army put a full stop to the battle between the humans 500 years ago. Those angels of death, utterly unrivaled, with no fear of mercy. Or mercy. Their only intention was to eradicate all life on this planet. Even Solaris' proudest gear battalions were mere flies to them. Nothing stopped them as they indiscriminately slaughtered and trampled upon countless lives. At that time, people were certain that the end of the world was approaching. Dominated by feelings of constant fear and hopelessness, it was a dreadful life. Man, that sounds really bad. The reason mankind was able to make it through and survive certain death 500 years ago was because the power of these giants created through God's wisdom. Roni Fatima and the other young fighters piloted these giants and destroyed the heart of Diablos. Seeing an opportunity to counterattack, mankind desperately stood up against Diablos and successfully annihilated them. Roni Fatima, Queen Zephyr, and the rest of the young ones put their lives on the line and won back the future for this world. That's interesting. Those giants which fought long ago to save us, an existence which surpasses all other gears. They are the legendary Omni-Gears. One of them is the treasure of the Ava royal family, which is currently resting somewhere within the continent of Ignis, but I can't guarantee that. Have we talked to you yet? After the war and the collapse of Diabos, similar to the Land Dwellers, the heavily beaten Solaris forces begin to pull back and return to their home country, taking along with them vast numbers of Land Dwellers as slaves. We couldn't stop them. The only way for the war-torn Land Dwellers to survive was to depend on Solaris. After the brief moment of hope, Solaris once again began to reign over the lands. A cold and harsh era had begun. 500 years have passed, and their reign still continues. No one knows how long this is going to last. Wow, that was a lot to take in, my god. Woo! So much information. But okay, yeah, so we're definitely gonna call it an episode. And next time we'll actually head in and talk to the Queen. Because I don't know how long I've been recording, because I've stopped and started and all that, but yeah. But we're definitely going to call it an episode here. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we will actually finally talk to the Queen. Hopefully. Seriously, hopefully. Because I'm sure she has some interesting things to say.